Far beyond the stars, on the edge of the great black hole known as Zardora, there drifted an ancient station. It was a forgotten relic, a library built by long-lost civilizations that had vanished into the void of time. The station was known as the Dark Library, but few had ever spoken of it, until one day, a group of brave explorers stumbled upon it by chance. The crew of the Starwood Hope had been traveling through the endless expanse of space when a strange signal caught their attention. It echoed like a whisper through the cosmic winds, a call to something they could not ignore. The ship's captain, Vela, a daring adventurer with a heart as vast as space itself, decided to follow the signal. It led them to the edge of Zardora, where time seemed to bend and the stars flickered like distant memories. The Dark Library was not what they expected. It floated silently in the void, its metal surface glimmering with the glow of 1,000 different worlds. Ancient writing covered its hull, strange symbols that danced in the light of distant stars. It was as though the station had been waiting for them, hidden in plain sight, as if time itself had forgotten it. As the explorers boarded the station, a chill ran through the crew. They felt an overwhelming presence, like the ghosts of forgotten civilizations watched them from the dark corners of the library. But they were determined to unlock its secrets. Yet, even as they stepped inside, they did not know the terrible price they would have to pay for the knowledge held within. The interior of the Dark Library was vast, stretching beyond what their eyes could comprehend. Strange, towering shelves lined the walls, each one packed with glowing crystals that hummed softly, as if alive. As the explorers ventured deeper, their footsteps echoed in the eerie silence. It was as though the library was waiting for them, expecting them to uncover its long-forgotten truths. Captain Vela led her crew down a winding corridor, their lanterns casting shadows on the alien architecture. They soon found themselves in a chamber filled with floating orbs, each containing swirling galaxies and swirling lights. The air felt thick, heavy with the weight of knowledge that had been gathered over millennia. They had found the heart of the library. But as they approached the largest orb in the center of the room, a voice, deep and resonant, spoke in their minds. "Seek and you shall learn. But beware, for the cost of knowledge is steep." The crew was stunned. The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, its warning hanging in the air like an unspoken promise. Captain Vela hesitated, but curiosity drove her forward. She reached out to touch the orb. As her fingers brushed its surface, a surge of visions flooded her mind, ancient star systems, forgotten worlds, and powerful beings whose names had been lost to time. But with the knowledge came pain. Her head throbbed as if her very mind was being torn apart. The others screamed, clutching their heads as they fell to their knees. It was then that they realized the truth: the price of the Dark Library's knowledge was not just one's sanity, but a piece of the soul itself. Captain Vela staggered back, barely able to keep her footing. "We must leave," she whispered, but it was too late. The library's secrets had already begun to change them. And there was no turning back now. The crew staggered through the corridors, their minds shattered by the visions they had seen. The once quiet hum of the library now pulsed with an unsettling rhythm, as if the station itself was alive, feeding off their growing despair. They tried to leave, to flee back to the Starwood Hope, but the library seemed to shift around them, its walls stretching and bending, trapping them within its endless maze. As they navigated the twisting hallways, the crew began to notice strange things. Faces flickered in the shadows, eyes that seemed to follow them, whispers that filled the air, voices of long-dead civilizations, calling from beyond the veil of time. Each whisper told a story, of empires that rose and fell, of warriors who fought in the stars, and of beings who had achieved the ultimate knowledge, only to be destroyed by their own creations. The library held the memories of thousands of extinct species, their histories stored in the orbs and crystals that littered the chamber. But the price of accessing those memories was more than they had anticipated. Every piece of knowledge came with a fragment of the civilization's fates, their fall into ruin, the horrors they had unleashed. The explorers could feel the weight of these tragedies pressing down on them, threatening to consume them. Captain Vela's voice broke through the silence, trembling with the realization of what had happened. The library, it doesn't just hold knowledge. It holds the remnants of lives, of souls trapped within its walls. It's feeding on us, on our fear, on our pain. They tried to escape, but the station's power was too great. The knowledge had already taken root in their minds, and with each passing moment, they felt themselves becoming more and more like the lost civilizations whose memories they had uncovered. As they reached the airlock, ready to leave, the library spoke one last time. The cost is paid. You are part of the archive now. You will never leave. And so, the Starwood Hope drifted away from the edge of the black hole, carrying with it the crew who had sought knowledge and found something far darker. The dark library still waits at the edge of Zardora, its doors open for those who dare to seek its secrets, if they are willing to pay the price. The legend of the dark library continues to echo across the stars, a warning to all who venture too close. For in the vastness of space, the thirst for knowledge is often met with the quiet cost of everything that came before.